Good afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to Psychic Development 2022, the recap
Ah,
and reconnection.
nice.
We thought it was nice to do that tonight because it feels like it's been ages, like we were just saying, since we've really connected with you all. And it seems like the old tide's been flowing pretty quick under the bridge. So we just thought it's a nice time to, recap with everyone, hear some of your experiences, what you've been playing with over the Christmas and third dimensional New Year, anything that's been coming up, what you're not sure of. And we'll share a little bit on where we're heading for 2022, which is
Well, it started
really
off with
good.
a bang.
Shh, don't tell them about things like that. Did it? What bang? The big bang?
Well, no, just contrast. Like I listened to Pam Gregory and she said, this is going to be a year of bliss or chaos, right? And I'm thinking, that's pretty extreme contrast right there. And
3D, 5D.
Yep. And we went on our holiday and experienced bliss and just were totally in our heart space and loving nature. And then we went higher frequency and our whole system detoxed from all the radiation. And then we came back into town and hit a wall of density. And it was pretty obvious how much it actually affects our energy field, actually. And
it's really when you take yourself away from it all and then come back, you really feel it when you're around it all the time.
Like barely had to clear myself. Barely had to clear myself. I see why people live off the grid and they go bush. I really can, because the trees around them, it's protection. And now that we've got all this 5G and apparently they've turned it up, and I didn't know they turned it up, and I had got home from just going out once and thought, did all my usual things. Wow, it's just my whole head felt like compacted, and then I had to go to the vet in the afternoon. And I was feeling better because I cleared myself a zillion times. So then I put a tin foil inside my beanie and I pulled my beanie over it, and it was 30 degrees out there. But what was interesting, it was a good experiment because I felt 90% better. And then the next day after I put a post on it, someone said, oh, do you know they've turned the 5G up? And I went, well, that would help explain. And so Sharon and Robert and I have been in a bit of a flurry, actually, trying to combat this and work out where it's coming from and what they're using and how it's affecting the energy field. So it's been very interesting. So it'd be lovely to get you guys on and just share whether you're noticing this increase in radiation, how you're feeling it on your body.
If I can just interject for a second.
Of course.
Tin hat wearing it is one option. I personally wouldn't do that.
He was cringe.
Are you joking? You're going out with a tin hat on?
Fair dinkum. Yep.
Yeah, fair dinkum did come out. I'm like, what the hell is that word? No wonder you need a tin hat. You need something else.
Pull it.
Well, tin hat is one option. Like another is we work a lot with the Atlantean Keepers of Light codes. And for me, if I'm feeling 5G being broadcasted at me, then I call in Kevin. And it seems to be particularly Kevin because we've got a triad actually of Atlantean Keepers of Light codes that have recently just really stepped forwards. And it's no surprise that they're working in the triad, much like with Sharon and Nita and I, with a lot of the work that we're doing. So I personally call on Kevin. So if I'm feeling like there's those energetics around me, to bring in those light codes to remove it. And pretty much as quick as you flick your fingers, it's gone. So, so you've got a couple options there. You can fair dinkum wear your tin hat, or you could have an option of calling, a beautiful galactic brother in to do that. I'm not saying your way's wrong because it obviously works.
I just had cleared myself and took quite some time. But
with 5G, it's at such a level. I mean, we'll have Cyril on, who's an expert in 5G. Actually, we had John Planison on. Wow, he must have been a good year and a half ago. Who's another 5G expert, works for, I think it was Geo Vital, Swiss-based company with representatives all around the world. Julie's saying
Yeah.
she prefers my option.
Yes.
And I do recall when John said that it's quite hard to protect from 5G.
Yeah.
In, whether you buy in any of the material and things like that to, protect yourself.
I think his comment.
They do help.
Yeah. His comment was when I said, oh, can you wear a burqa? Can you wear a wetsuit? He said, well, even if you did that and you jumped in the ocean, you'd still get wet. And I went, oh, what's the solution?
Yeah, so I know there are some scalar technologies. I haven't researched it enough, but I will do with Cyril. We will get him on, who's a real expert in that, because we do need to be very mindful of this year then of protecting ourselves, because 5G or any interference in our field is going to affect our frequency, which is going to affect how connected we are as individuals. So it's and if I can just say a quick hand.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at those messages.
And it's the primary thing that I ask first if I'm having to clear things. This isn't about the clearing workshops, but it's the number one thing I ask is 5G. And then start from that list, and then distortions and everything else. But 5G is, number one on the list. So,
right, some great comments there, like Sudhar, yes, and Joe, very lethargic, low in moods, aching bones, and then of course Monica's reminded us that there was a Mercury retrograde and also a retrograde in Venus. There's about 4 retrogrades going on with that full moon, and it was intense. And we're also upgrading as well, like we've all jollily jumped into Homo luminous, and of course that's also clearing up old aspects and density in the bones, and so it's coming out in deep layers. So it's kind of like we've been hit with a bit of a whammy, because that cosmic photon belt that we're going through, normally that last activation date from the 12th to the 21st of the 12th, it's all over and it settles down, but it went through to the 11th of the 1st, which covered 1-11, 1-1, sorry, and 11-1. So we've had all this really intensive light that's been projected at us for a long time, which means, we've got retrogrades, we've got full moon, we've got new things happening out in the collective with more of these. Children, there's actually probably more going on in the last new year.
Coming to an end, though, I think, next 26, 26, something like that. And
normally, as a life coach, your quiet time, someone's waiting to come in. Your quiet time is Christmas and New Year. Not this year. Not this year. Everybody's up in arms and turmoil. Well, mostly people are having a great time. They're on holidays, and so everybody's feeling great. And it's really, women get ratty when they get back from their holiday and the kids aren't back at school, but then they can't get away from the kids anyway. So you generally see an influx of clients. I need an energy balancing. I need to cut my cords from my kids with back to school. But this year has been extremely busy, extremely distraught people. And they really can't believe the fabric of their reality is disappearing faster than they can keep up with it. And that was what one woman, she said, I can't keep up with these changes, Anita. Yeah, it's, so I think there's what you said the other day, what's in the one is in the all, or in the all in the one, that, there's a lot more at play than I think we can even take on board. But on the upshot, we are also upgrading, and that's kind of going on, I suppose, to our templates. And that's why we're all tired. And lovely Vanessa Sheridan sent a beautiful message, and she said we really need to listen to our bodies and rest. We are in that rest period of the year, and I think that's why we've taken quite a while to rev up to get back, because we haven't wanted to rev up. Fair comment?
Fair comment, yeah. It's taken a while, actually.
Do you think there's a resistance? Because I feel this resistance to stepping back into the same busyness I left in December. I just don't want to do it anymore. I want to stay in my heart. And today I really noticed, like when we talked about chaos or bliss state, that's exactly what I've been experiencing. I've been experiencing the bliss state. I said to Sharon, I had some activation overnight the other night, and it was like being in an orgasm all night, except just body. So, it was, and I'm now blushing. And it was really amazing. And then I held it for quite some time, even when I got out in the spa in the morning. And it was really funny because your clients were arriving early. So I'm in the spa buck naked, and the clients can come down our driveway and they can see your head. And then immediately my mind just flicked me out of that state, like in a nanosecond. And it was saying, oh no, make a run for it now, hide under the tree, get the towel. And then I lost the state. And it was, yeah, it's been very contrasting.
I think the moral of the story is the difference that you feel from being in your sacred heart space to being in your head. And that difference is very distinguishable now compared to when we look at, when we were here a month ago. We knew it was always coming, and I've been working on this, being in your sacred heart space from level 1, series 1, on the first time round. So it's really it's now. Otherwise we notice that, don't we? And I have to rewind a few years to feel what it was like when I was in my head compared to now, because the majority of the time I'm just here and there's really not very much that sways me or knocks me out of it.
I was laughing at you today when you said, I said, you're just a space cadet, because he's just like tired. And he goes, no, I'm just being.
Well, I'm at the stage where I'm not thinking about things. Things aren't coming up in my head.
Men are much better at it than women. You know how to go into the man cave, you know how to switch off. And I'm looking at new strategies of how not to bug you.
What are some of those tools?
What do you mean?
Well, for women to go into their,
Well, I think to be more like men. Sorry to say it, ladies.
Women boudoir.
But there needs to be a cut-off point. Men go into their man cave. Look at them. They come in. They can't talk to you for that long because they've talked all day. Men are all talked out sooner than women. Probably way sooner. And so men have a real art, and you hear it from clients. Oh, he just comes in, he doesn't want to talk to me, he just wants to get his beer out of the fridge and go veg in front of the telly, and then she calls him lazy. And then meanwhile, Superwoman's buzzing around the house, familiar. Getting angry in her head, shouting at it in her head. Oh, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Oh, he's just sitting on his ass, And so women have this perpetual argument of things they don't say out loud in their head. So they're arguing it themselves. So that's a big one. And I think never stopping the to-do list. It's like on, what did you call that, roller deck? It's like a roller deck in the head. And so I think also too, what I'm seeing is in the human energy field, the auric bodies, that men's auric bodies are better than women's, because the woman's mind and solar plexus are dominant. And I just bake things I love. That's a good idea, Zizi.
And no, he won't eat.
So where was I going with that?
Some tips.
Yeah, but I was on a train of thought then, and I zapped there. Got to get back into it. But actually, that zap thing I'm just doing there, what happens is when you start to drop down into your heart, it's like your neural connections aren't there, and that's exactly an example of it. Whereas normally if you're up in your head, I reckon you're almost processing at beta gamma. Whereas a man sitting on the couch is in alpha brainwaves, and wanting to be more psychic, we need to be in theta. So, there's a lot going on here with the mind, and just those habitual habits of never stopping, never giving yourself a break, never just vegging like you will watch a program and I will be still tapping away on the computer and watching the program. I need to stop that. That's one of the things I need to stop. And then I find my productivity goes down, and then I start getting hard on myself. Women are very hard on themselves. Whereas men just go, it can wait. Yeah. So I think you're very good at it.
Yourself first.
Yeah, it is self-devotion over duty. Yeah.
See, I come home from work being out in my retail job all day. In the first half an hour I'm home. No.
So you go into your man cave.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Look at that. See, Sharon's very balanced yin and yang. And Robert pointed out to me, I'm still too much. Which one's the woman? Yin or yang? Anyway, whichever one it was, 70-30. And when you think about the correlation there, it probably also correlates to your mind and over functioning. as well. So maybe when we look at February coming up and the divine feminine stepping forward, that evening up of masculine and feminine in order to be at one with yourself, maybe we can take on some of these aspects, like what Sharon's saying. She goes into her man cave.
Yeah, the first half an hour I come home, I get changed, and then I go and sit outside or whatever, and I just have me time for half an hour, just to really
Don't touch a thing.
Don't detox anything that's happened. But I've always cleared myself on my way home before I get home, so I don't bring anything home that I've attached to. Try doing that while I'm driving home, and then when I get home, that's when it's my time, and I just go and sit outside, and I just.
It'll be interesting for you on the call to see, use your pendulum or intuition. What's your percentage of yin or yang, like feminine to masculine? Like how balanced are you there? You know, are you 50-50 or are you 75 feminine, 25 masculine? You know, like I need to.
What am I now? Oh, that's not bad. I've got about 5% to go to be balanced.
What are you, Evie? Hand on your heart, and you can ask.
Oh, you've improved it from the other 60-40. You were 70-30.
Well, so there's a little bit of work there, isn't there? And I was just jotting down some notes. What did you do to correct yours? Because we can run through.
Well, just try to imprint more of you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
50-50 is good. It's balanced.
Yeah, 50-50 is good. So from a masculine side too, we don't want to be too overbearing and dominant all the time. We want to be wearing pink shirts and getting in tune with our feminine sides and
talking about how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas where I think women are still caught is the archetype of the pleaser and the perfectionist still very much play into the busyness. Both of those templates are Homo sapien. They're very old. They're part of 3D conditioning. And so I think it's really important this year, no more pleasing, no more perfection, and just go with the flow and be in your heart, and lots of self-love and self-devotion. So that's the divine feminine. You know, she really knows how to do that. And yeah, she delegates and she asks for help, and will speak up if she feels she's not getting it, and then not do it and go and have a bath or sit outside for half an hour instead of being in a huff and doing another 10 things because she's running on adrenaline. Yeah.
Well, some great tips there. Yeah, great tips, because, you know, it's all about, you know, as we go on from all of these workshops, you know, being in your sacred heart space, and it's becoming far more evident. And I noticed just from having a cacao tea here with just a spoon of cacao and some hot water in it, the difference that I feel in heart centering me.
It's heart medicine.
It is heart medicine. So, you know, during your day, consider having a teaspoon of cacao in your hot water and having that as a tea. It's another tool that only popped to mind from just having it now. I feel even more heart centered. Yeah. So go for some cacao tea. Definitely a great tool to have.
When we do a meditation, I'll do a heart centered. I've been really focusing on my meditations, just more heart.
Yeah. Seeing lots of nods on the screen. So that's good. Yes, a big one, 5G, heart-centeredness.
Letting go of old templates. And just on that point, if you're not letting go of those old templates and they're still playing out, the reason is because those old templates have come from childhood, generally disapproving mothers, bullying, not good enough is the, you know, and then under that is the shame and the guilt that's running those. And as we grow, we create the false self in order to cope, in order to wall it off, because it's no fun being in freeze. So then we jump up into flight and we create the pleaser and the perfectionist in order to create lots of adrenaline energy. And so this means we're driven into our mind, we're driven out of our heart, we're driven out of our emotions. And what I'm seeing is that the Homo sapien template is practically wearing out. Like we've been looking at the auric bodies, and people who haven't healed trauma, if you can imagine like an egg shape of yellow being the solar plexus and the auric body, the mental body, literally those people with trauma who haven't healed it, it's like the egg hasn't just cracked. There's like a tiny slither left. And then the emotional body will correlate to that because those thoughts create the emotions. And then the astral body, which is the green, the heart body, is also now, so it's like it's starting to, the mental mind and beliefs and old templates are starting to erode the auric bodies around a person. And then it can keep going, you know, it can keep going then up to the angelic body at the third eye. It can keep going up to the etheric body, up to the monad. And so if we really want to embody Homo Luminous, we have to get out of this template, get into the heart space to hold Homo Luminous. And then it's all about those templates staying whole, and living from the heart will do that. And then you have greater access to the next layers, which are the Christos and the Buddha body. There's your bliss state, there's your nirvana. And so you can tell if you want to get there, you have to heal these inner layers, the mental mind, the emotions, the heart. They're really the top three. And then you'll start to see some real cohesion and some heart coherence and some real ability to be at one with yourself. And bliss state is also peace. It just really depends on what your mood is at the time. It's the same thing. So yeah, I've really experienced and got a bit of a handle on that now, and also what's going on. Yeah, so we've just got a little bit of, you can share what's going on. I think it's great for them to know.
Oh, I just had a little note with Sharon in the background. We were just being plagued by some beings, and I said to her, oh, they're coming from Orion, and it's the Jupiter beings in Orion. Just before we came on the call, things have changed somewhat in the last 24, 48 hours with some of the distortions and, you know, the work that I've been doing as keeper of the light in the background. And far more things coming through in the third dimension rather than from up here. So Sharon and I were just, which is why I yawned earlier. It wasn't because I'm feeling tired. It's that clearing of the energy where we kind of have a, okay, yeah.
What were they doing to us? Because my head feels like it's in a clamp.
Just beaming us.
Mm.
Yeah, so you might feel that, like Anita just shared, you know, I feel it here. I get like a fuzziness opposite my heart in my chest area here, like a bit of a heaviness. Anita, or you might feel it in your temples, or like your head's in a clamp.
High mind, jams shut.
It's important to know how you should be feeling, to then, if you're not feeling how you should be energy wise or pressure wise, to clearing something, you know, in time then to pick up your skills and be masterful in, is it 5G related, number one? Is it distortion? Yes, okay. You know, seeing yourself up in those higher dimensions. And we're talking a little bit about that because we're playing in the higher dimensions now on that front. And I was asking earlier, and I've not got the full answer to it yet, but the rays of creation with the dimensions that were linked on that are actually applicable in these higher billion dimensions too. So you may recall from the psychic development, when we play with the rays of creation, first ray of creation is linked to the 100th dimension. Well, it's actually linked up into those higher dimensions too. And I suspected it was because, you know, when we're clearing and playing in the billionth dimension now, and I've been sharing, it's like, oh, that's the creator's picnic table and where we wish to create things. Well, that used to be what we used to be doing in the 1400th dimension. It's now that we can do the same thing with the rays of creation on what do we wish to create or remove, like we're doing now, but actually playing in these higher dimensions, because it just speeds things up far quicker. And these dimensional beings seem to have gone over the dimensions that we've been playing with the rays of creation up until now. So I don't really play in the 100th dimension, that infinite pure essence of the creator, you know. Not,
do you still put buildings through there? And
no.
See, this is how quick it changes.
No.
Straight up to the 100 billion.
No, don't.
Yeah, billions.
We just go right up into the
Yeah,
billionth.
straight up.
So it's there'll be a change and a bit of a recap we'll be doing on that in psychic too, because
Plus,
the information is in psychic about the rays of creations and which ones we play with. So it's a good reminder for everyone too that actually I'll put that into the next psychic with the dimensions, so you can print it off and play with it, because you know, with a lot of these things that are around at the moment and how it's changed, I couldn't do the clearing or clear myself, you know, or other people on the planet without working with the rays of creation. So we want to know these kind of like off by heart, because they're very handy if you're feeling like this, to clear yourself, you know, very quickly. Particularly if it's things we don't know, like some of these new things with a sixth ray of creation. It's that aspect of what the creator brings to the table that we haven't conceptualized or thought about, so we can remove things with that ray of creation. Oh, creator, what is it that's happening over here? Oh yeah, so okay, so just beam it back the other way for us, body.
thank you, Sharon. Sharon's over here taking care of all this. Do you see me yawning? That's an energy exchange. So always notice when you're clearing yourself, if you're yawning, that's a really great sign that it's an energy exchange. You know, the old stuff's going out and new life force is coming through.
Do you want to keep talking?
Well, actually, I was okay. Yeah, I can feel it coming back into my third eye. Okay, we'll leave them to it. How about we unmute everyone and just share some feedbacks, questions, what's happening to you? So
we might get everyone, just while you're on the call too, to be in your sacred heart space, because a lot of it's coming through the IT and your phones. Make sure your phones,
turn them off.
Make sure your phones are switched off, and within your, you know, I'm in my sacred heart space. I'm the billionth dimension. So put yourself up in that billionth dimension, and then I'm the creator in the billionth dimension, and pull your house up there into that space too. I can instantly already feel the difference in that. It's like, yeah, there's a massive like upliftment of energy. And that, you know, this is something we've been playing with, is holding these 2 points of perspective in psychic development. And it's becoming ever more important now that while I'm talking, I'm still seeing myself up in this high dimension where we're then protected, where this energy is not coming into us. If I then drop down, okay, well, I'm talking to you here in the 3rd dimension, but from my sacred heart space, then I feel all the energies. So there's an aspect of really being masterful in, you know, I can still be in my sacred heart space, but I'm here, rather than, oh, now I see myself in that beautiful screen like at the cinema, because I've come in from my sacred heart space. I'm in the billionth dimension. I'm the creator in the billionth dimension. So now I'm up in this higher dimension talking to you, and then I can feel all of this crap's not affecting me. So yeah, we'll do some more anchoring on that space too. It's something I've not fully mastered for myself, in not even having to think what dimension I'm talking to you, or, you know, all from. But it's something we really need to be wary of at the moment. Yeah, that's helped a lot by us all being up in here now.
Oh, I had a session with a lady who had terrible trouble with her her reception, because she was in outback sort of Queensland. Anyway, I said to her, look, let's both keep ourselves in the higher dimension. And all of a sudden the reception would start to get a bit patchy, and I'd go, okay, come on, let's do it, let's clear. And we both were clearing and clearing out the routers of each end. And the difference was amazing, completely amazing. Okay, Robert's just going to help, and then I'll bring you guys on, and,
should be able to just,
and hopefully they'll get my head out of this vice. I think that's why I keep losing my train of thought, because I'm all jammed in around my head. And if I could sit here like I did today, first time ever this week, I had to actually cancel a client because I was so badly affected that my normal quick little clearings with a client, between clients, didn't work. And I actually had to cancel a client. And then I spent the whole hour clearing myself. And then today was the same. Yeah, so it's been, and then like to experience the bliss state it's really like quite weird at the moment. So let's bring you guys on. I'll just I think you unmute. So just, we'll put you in gallery view. Yeah, so let's open it to you to come on and ask, why does it have to be so challenging? That's a great question, Zena. I've thought about that, Zena. Interesting with the journey that we've all been on to get here and what we're going through. Even though we think it's challenging, if you go back to the Egyptian times, the Essenes, the Gnostics, it's nothing on what they had. You know, I mean, the Essenes would rather commit suicide than have the Romans capture them and share their knowledge of the Creator. And even to this day, you know, many of these tribes who have been persecuted over eons don't write their wisdom down. They share it word of mouth, and people train with them. So yes, it does feel horrible because we're in this technology that all of us would choose not to be in because we want to work with our electromagnetic field, and the environment that we're in is very toxic and challenging. And you know that we're going through this split between 3D and 5D. We're also going through a galactic war because you know, the dark hats have been told their time's up. So even though I've had a bad week, I think, you know, it's just that we are experiencing uncharted territory, and the tools are changing quicker than we can just get to know them off by heart, and then in come new tools. So that's why I think it's so important that we're connected. And even though we might feel like we come together in a workshop like this or energy activations, we're coming together as peers, as starseeds who have incarnated at this time and are in a galactic war. So, you know, and I think if we didn't have to earn money and hold down a job and raise children, and we could be like the monks and we could hold ourselves all up together in one place that was completely free of toxicity, I think we'd be laughing. But, you know, we are modern day mystics. And that means instead of being persecuted because we're in a group of people like the Essenes or, you know, the Tibetans and obviously the very seen holy people have been persecuted since the fall of consciousness, basically. And so we have come down here, and basically we are aliens. We might say the reptilian race are aliens, but we're all inhabiting a human body as galactic beings to come here and fight for Earth and save Earth. So sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-days, and we need to come back to the fact that actually this psychic development workshop, for anyone who's on it, yes, it's about developing your psychic abilities, but it's also about using your psychic superpowers as starseeds, light workers, enlightened beings to help win. And the light always wins. But, you know, we're at this absolute bridge crossing moment between this split. And I think that the split that we're experiencing, what I'm describing to you and me, is also the split of me letting go of my third dimensional self. And, you know, if we all think that's going to happen overnight, I think we've got another thing coming. And all the little layers, as we know, have been coming up all year, and they've been trying to lighten our load by helping to remove aspects of our past lives that no longer serve us. And I think they know that we're under a lot of duress and pressure here to do the sole purpose that we came here for. Can you check our frequencies? Absolutely. Yeah. So I hope that helps explain it, Zena, because I think that, you know, when you're a busy mum and you're seeing clients, and like these guys are having to stop and clear, it's very hard to stop and clear these kind of beings when you're seeing a client. You know, it's very hard to do it when your family wants you. So, yeah, I think let's be very loving with ourselves and very supportive of each other.
We spoke about that, though, didn't we? The necessity to do that. To not start wearing all of this. Otherwise, it takes 20 minutes compared to, hang on, I just need to attend to something that takes you 30 seconds.
Robert's been really drilling me because I've got the classic pleaser perfectionist template. And when I'm working with a client, I can feel stuff coming in, and I'm normally very good at listening to the client and clearing it, in the background. But this stuff's been so intense. And Robert's very good at saying to the client, look, I've just got to go to the loo. I'm going to clear my energy. And he takes care of what's going on as it's coming in. Whereas I'm sitting there going, oh, yep. Oh, this is bad. Yep. Oh, it's getting worse. And there's the pleaser right there, the lack of self-devotion in me as a practitioner. And so that was like amazing that I had to actually cancel a client and put myself first. So, there was a real big shift for me. And even on the session with the client, actually saying to the client, we need to put ourselves in a higher dimension, and I'm going to have to be stopping and clearing us and doing whatever because it's really intense at the moment. But you know what? She learned more because she started to have to do what I was doing at her end. And the thing is, as I said to her, we've got to see ourselves as peers because we've all come here as star seeds, and sharing this information is so much more than just an individual journey. And even my clients and Robert's clients, 99.9% star seeds at a different point of their awakening. And so, I'm going to have to be out of the closet even more with people and go, actually, you might not understand about energy, but I've got to get this energy off you and I before I go down, because I noticed this week, my frequency is fluctuating from 300 million, hello, bliss state. And then I dropped down to 0 when my chakras got taken out. Then I recovered to 110 billion with an hour's clearing today, but I'm not seeing myself recovering to 300 million. But interesting, at the same time, I've listened to Sharon, who goes into work in a very toxic environment at all levels, with this 5G retail. And actually, I'm having to just keep my head under the radar at the moment and not keep myself in that high frequency. So I felt like I had chronic fatigue today. For me to go back to 1 billion, that's like, what? Because it's really hard to go up and come back. So I'm also being very mindful as a practitioner at the moment, because I can push anyone up to anywhere. I really can. But will they hold it? And do they want to be bombarded? And so now I'm very particular in asking, what is the frequency that their higher self would like this person to be at? And I actually just allow the higher self to, no matter what I'm doing, just pull it up and be happy with that, instead of me going, oh, okay, let's see if we can get another 400,000, which is great because they feel great, but they don't have the tools to sustain it. So it's just great to share all this stuff with you, because I know many of you are practitioners or going to be practitioners. And it's really interesting times. But this is what I'll share to you, right? So after about the 30th time of being taken down and repeating all the tools I knew, I was starting to have a bit of a poor me, as you do. And I was like, chatting to my guides, and Robert said, come on, ask the creator in a more firm voice, which is trying to get me more into that balance of masculine and feminine. And the stuff I learned in these last 2 weeks has not only changed my life, and I've experienced bliss state, I'm now teaching a whole raft of new information on the auric bodies to clients. So every backward step will bring you forward a massive amount. So it's also just holding the line and going, right, it's like what Robert says, Obi-Wan Kenobi, strike me down and I will come back stronger. And I've really, really seen that. Yes, it's frustrating, but again, it's teaching us to be the modern day mystic. And today I had an experience of that, where after my 8 hour clearing, I came back in the biggest bliss state, and I challenged myself, Anita, how are you going to stay here? And the minute I walked in the door, Nicolette said, could I just ask you a query on this accounts thing? Oh, it's really hard. It's like, I know now why monks go and shave their heads off, wear the same things, eat the same things, get up at the same time. Because to literally stay in your heart and your bliss state, it is like, and I can understand these high level spiritual people that don't do anything but bliss out and see a client and actually say, oh, I won't see a client under a certain frequency. It's really been a big eye opener. But, I don't think we're here for that. I think we're the modern day mystics who have to have the tools and the connections in order to ride the waves, and that the downward part of the wave is just as big a part as your learning and evolvement of your soul. and that adversity and the spirit cannot be broken. They're trying to break the spirit cannot be broken. And I think we will see that with people out in just the normal collective of normal humanity. So us as star seeds have to really take on those human qualities of, no, they can munt me, they can, because I tell you what Robert got me to do, right? And this was really against the grain for the chakra queen. I'm like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? I said, I feel munted again. And he goes, well, I'm up in the billionth dimension. And he said, I'm cutting with my cords like I would do over my entire body. And I am cutting my chakras off. I'm cutting my aura off. And I'm like, what do you mean you're cutting your chakras off? Anyway, I said, they're distorted. I'm cutting them off. And I'm like, do you know what? I never thought of that, because whenever we've cut our cords from other people or objects, that's exactly what we're doing. We're cutting off our chakras and we're cutting off our aura. But it was just my mindset around it. And so then it was really a case of, bringing through those rays of creation, like Neo in the, what's it called? The Matrix. You remember that moment he plunged himself into Smith and he got enveloped in this black goo. And then all of a sudden, Smith exploded with light. And so I've just, using Robert's technique,
just what we were doing.
Yeah, using Robert's technique to slough everything off. Well, then I want to get rid of the rest, because let's face it, it's just energy. So our energy field is like the Hydra. Does anyone know what the Hydra is? Those little microbial things that you can cut in half and they regenerate, cut them in half. So I think the human energy field is very much like a Hydra. And so this is why we have to be so connected to our heart, because that is the river, that is the eternal river. And I think we're drawing too much current from the vertical current, and we haven't got enough horizontal current because our heart field is too weak because of all this mentalizing. So when we slough it all off and then we be like Neo and we blast ourselves asking for the rays of creation, they must come from the heart portal, not your mind. You're never going to get your Hydra back. So you can see that the tools are simple, but it's really this mastery of knowing that you're in your heart and that you can't even overthink your clearings or your remanifesting or potentially not getting rid of what you're trying to shift, because you're doing it from your head, not your heart. And then it's really hard to stay in your heart because you're getting really shitty at the distortions. And then your family's calling you, and then you're like, I haven't got an hour to do this. So people, it's self-mastery, all of it. We haven't got time to go to the Himalayas. We haven't got time to be coached by the Dalai Lama. We don't have $5,000 to book in with that famous American spiritual person. So it's getting dished up on our plates every day. We are in the school of life. And this is part of it. And this is the challenge of getting psychically connected and raising our frequency. We are targeted. And if you don't think Mr. Elon Musk's 34 satellites and 5G towers and Doppler radiation and gamma rays and radiation in general that's in our thing isn't challenging enough, we're trying to win a galactic war. So, we're doing a bloody good job just to show up and still be smiling and keen as. So, I think that it's time to really find that spirit within, that resilience, that tenacity, endurance. These are the qualities of the human spirit that get someone who's missing their arms and legs to put prosthetics on and climb Mount Everest. These are the people that know how to do this. They've accessed the spirit. And so, that is where our power is coming from. And just to know that we're internal and infinite, and the power that we can access. These beings from the dark, they can't access it. So they're just doing to us what happened to Neo in the Matrix. All those black tubes? I literally feel like they're doing that to my energy body, and I literally feel like they're AI mirroring me and taking me as an AI twin. I found I was in the 6th dimension. I also found I was in the metaverse, because these dark hats have created.
Not the Facebook one.
No, a real one. But that's where the name's coming from. So, now try clearing yourself, not just from the universe, I'm clearing and removing everything from all space, time and dimension. And I'm clearing it from all of the universe, the metaverse and the omniverse or the multiverse, like we don't know where we're being fragmented to, how they are taking our energy signature, what they're bleeding from us and how they're doing it. And I actually discovered this week, the old implants in our spine, I reckon that was like the old version of how they did it with like if you imagine Matrix, they've changed it. They're realizing that we're starting to win this race and we're raising the frequency and the 5Gs, the 5-dimensional splits happening. And so I reckon they've changed where they're putting everything. And I worked out the higher mind today and they've gone and changed it again. And Sharon and I both had pressure going in under our skull bones here, around our chin and jaw. And there's one plug going into the thoracic. I think it's the thoracic 2-3. And guess what? When I looked up the psychosomatics of thoracic 2-3, it is all about spiritual growth and mastery. So now they're plugging into our spiritual growth and mastery to block that area. And last year they'd plugged into self-love, self-identity, and being at one with others and creating harmony. So they were creating disharmony. They were getting you not to love yourself as much, and they were getting you to identify badly with yourself. So this one that they're trying on us is making you think that you're getting nowhere, making you think that you've got self-doubt about your psychic abilities and your super consciousness. It's so clever. Then you've got to you got to take your hat off to them, right? So that means we have to dig deeper. We have to go into the heart further. We have to smile when the pressure's on. And, I was in bliss state again today. And then I went straight to my computer. Something fell over and I said, F it. And I went, oh, I've lost it. We're so damn human. It's not funny, but that's also why we come down into this body, to find out what it is like to evolve our soul. And we are evolving the spirit. We're evolving our spiritual strength. And these are the ways that it's being dished up to us. And so then you got to ask, wow, who invented this? Who constructed this? Surely the creator could make this all be over in a second. But no, he knows how bad humanity is. He knows what happened to the fall of consciousness back in Atlantis times and Babylonian times. And so, he's been very patient, wouldn't you think? I'm not quite sure the count on how many years that might be, but I reckon 6,000. 6,000. So, like it's no small game that's going on at the moment, but the big game is consciousness. And these things that are going on are a distraction to get us angry at them, to lose our marbles. And it all comes down to really seeing the big picture and not getting caught in the nitty gritty. And because it's pretty damn important what we've come down for. And, the thing is, if you're just aware, you're there and you're holding a better frequency than those that are asleep, and the movement's getting bigger and bigger. And I think what's happening too is we're just holding on by the skin of our teeth, and the fabric of reality is falling to bits for those third dimensional beings, of which that is the bigger collective. So I think there's a lot of brunt yet coming through like a tsunami, and I think we're starting to feel that tsunami.
Yeah, and we seem to be going like this. If this is the third dimension and what's going on, it's like when I looked at it 2 days ago, we were ahead, and now it's like we've shifted back again. So it's like, we have our foot in front and they have their foot in front. We have our foot in front, and the work that we were just doing, their foot was in front, and it's like, oh, we've just pulled up. Oh, and actually ours is a little bit ahead again. So we do have this battle that's going on somewhat, all orchestrated from here to help these beings just, it's their time to go home. But we feel it in our fields, of, oh, hang on, my energy is feeling like this and not like this, not sure what it is. So it's
so just on that note, you finished.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, when you watch David Attenborough and these shows where you watch animals kill, I can't watch it, right? Whether the lion's about to get the deer, I can't. But nature knows without a predator, it doesn't evolve. So we're an animal too, and the same thing's applying to us. We stopped evolving 6,000 years ago. And I love reading about the Essenes because they were the holy people that took themselves out to the desert where Jesus spent 40 days and 40 nights. And these people, actually, when people said to them, why do you live in the desert? You know, why are you making it so hard for yourselves? And they said, well, we've chosen to live in the desert so that we appreciate every second we have food, every moment our animal produces something for us. And we're not, you know, and they never had money. They always exchanged with each other. They never ate their animals. Their animals were treated as family and were expected to contribute. And in the end, what they said was, if we go into town, we will forget who God is. And I thought that's exactly the description between the 5D and 3D. And so I do think from the natural world that we're used to, there's a lot of sacrificing and giving up and changing that goes on in order to achieve where we want to be. And the Essenes were where Jesus trained. And
the key is, though, is taking that into our everyday life.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's our mission, is holding that space and state of nirvana and not putting any attention onto what's going on over here or in these, you know, these real Facebook groups, or not putting any attention on what Sharon and I did, you know, and just clearing this up. Because, you know, I see far too many star seeds that are really heart-centered, but they're putting all of their energy in to what's going on over here and all this bad stuff and what they're trying to do, and they're putting all the energy here rather than focus on, hang on a minute, we're going in this direction. So you can kind of keep a minute amount of energy and just looking over your shoulder, but not so much. And you know, we've let go of quite a few of these Facebook groups and things like that because we know about all this stuff. Don't need to know about it anymore. You know, I'm sick and tired of it. Like, we'll
just cherry pick something.
Yeah, like, you know, we don't need to be putting any energy into it or replying to things about what people are posting about it. It's
even a conversation about it
takes your energy away.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, we're creating and have created this aspect of the sixth dimension and what it looks like, and it's something with, you know, someone who's on the call that we looked at that in the Galactic Akashic Records, which was incredible, you know, for what she birthed in that aspect of what the sixth dimension looks like, that we will be creating. And we need to actually, meant to talk to Matt about that today, in like some form of animation, because if I asked all of you to tell me what it looks like, where we're going, who can put their hand up and say, oh, I've got a mental image of what the fifth and sixth dimension looks like for us? You know, who can do it? Can someone? One person on the call will be able to that birthed it over here, but can everyone else? And that's the importance of, well, we know all this crap over here, you know, third dimension, zombies and AI and all this other crap, but who can put their hand up and go, oh yeah, I've got this mental image of what it looks like, and the pristineness and the rivers and the political system and the schooling system and all of the free energy and how we're taking care of all of the seas and rivers. You know, who can put their hand up and say, wow, I can see that? No, they can't, because all we're doing is going, oh, how bad it is over here and what's going on. So there's a big focus, really, you know, if you're in those groups, to consider. Know all that, thanks. Let's turn to the nice page and what we're creating and what that image looks like of where we are going, because we are going there. And like the creator said in that channeling I did, we can get there in 5 months or we can get there in 3 years. So, you know, and that's the choice.
Yeah, look, Monica got rid of Facebook.
Yeah. That's the choice of starseeds, because we're creating all of this. We're the ones with the higher vibe than the human seeds. Where are you putting your attention? And
even we've done that now together, like we've come on and we talked about bits and pieces of the heavy stuff, but then look how we've reframed it.
Yeah.
And I bet everybody feels more heart-centered just after. Yes, look at that.
This is where we're going, where there's unicorns that are blowing out their sparkly dust every time they fart. But we are like, you know, in the vibe, you know, we might be sharing that, but you know, we can keep that vibe high to move to where we are going. So we will create that, because it's very important for us to create that image and what it looks like and start to really put it out there, because it's missing from people.
It's just using your imagination. And
yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
But it's nice when there's a little blueprint. Oh, here's a, you know, 2-minute little
absolutely
video on, oh, actually this is what it looks like. It's a vision, because it's really important. If I show you just over here, like Eva, I'll pull the video back. Eva was asking a question. Just have to direct me onto.
Okay. Yep.
Is that good enough?
Yep. Pull it back a little.
So Eva was asking me a question on
that's it. Perfect.
What we do when we're manifesting using the particle there for the cube. Yeah. So Eva was asking just before we came on, I don't quite get it, Rob. I can't see what I'm doing. So I drew that little picture on the board, and then it was like, oh, I instantly got it right. I can see how we're manifesting at the particle level, bringing it forward through that particle in our heart to here it is. So there's a real importance in seeing, because the seeing's believing. And then within 2 minutes, he was like, oh, okay, right, I've got it. I understand now how to manifest and contain it in that cube. So, you know, start dreaming and being in your sacred heart space on what it looks like in the 5th and 6th dimension and how we treat each other, you know, because it's not going to be like this, you know.
We've got to hold the line, don't we?
We're going to hold the line, and you know what they're doing here, we can remaster any illness or disease and pull it out of every single human being's body on the planet. I'm going all goosebumpy sharing that, but I've just been told, well, we're not quite ready for you to do it yet from that little spark. But it's like, oh, it's just here, but now's not the time. So we can just let go of all of this other stuff over here with what they're trying to do. Know that we have that infinite pure consciousness, you know, infinite pure light, infinite pure love, and it trumps everything. Really important. Yeah, really important.
And I did use that this morning, actually. I'll use that in the meditation just to remind everyone. Yeah.
We will win. We are winning.
Yeah.
And we're ahead again now.
I think it's just got to play out. I think that, you know, all this hasn't been orchestrated for no reason. We're just in the thick of it at the moment, and more thick of it, I suppose.
Yeah, to just try and distract us from the activations and switching everything on and being heart-centered and having time with our friends and family and being in nature. And,
going against the narrative. Yeah,
just, you know, continue doing that.
Well, we've been against the narrative for eons. That's, you know, really what I was saying. It's that's why we're just working every, you know, normal jobs, families and so forth, so that I think we avoid that kind of attention.
Yeah, and there is an aspect of that, because in the old mystic schools, you know, it wasn't standing on front of the street corners telling everybody and telling, you know, 10 million people, oh, this is what we're going to do with all of humanity. It's sharing it in the groups of the people, of like-minded people. Actually, this is what we're doing, and this is what we've got to be able to help humanity. So there's that kind of blind faith, you know, that most of humanity don't see. But, you know, we know within our sacred heart spaces that, you know, things will change, you know, and we've got these amazing opportunities coming up this year to start really changing things. And we can see that with where we're going at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a really good year, because the energy is actually a lot better than last year. Anyone feel that like it is?
It's different.
It's different. Like, it's more palatable for us to start to create now in this year. And I did have a client on a Galactic Akashic Records who was saying, I think it was on the 25th of December, was it Mars and Uranus or something like that? Something shifted and stopped from the 25th of December, where there was a new energy. I was actually going to get him on, or anyone that knows about that. And it was far more conducive then to do his this year. Wouldn't have been the right energy last year, with him understanding what his mission is here on Earth now as a starseed, and the importance that he has in removing the blindfold from humanity, which is coming up. you know, very quickly. So, you know, we're doing tremendous work, our star seeds. So, you know, you really need to give yourself a pat on the back too for showing up and doing the work and being interested and knowing that there's a little bit more than, you know, what we're told here, because we are piece by piece changing the world. Yeah, you know, these activations and Homo Luminous and wow, like the amount that we did last year, it was like, wow, really? Do we really do all of that? You know, we should produce that too. Let's do that, you know, for actually all of these activations and everything that we did collectively and what we're doing in psychic development, because, you know, the activations that you do, we put through in the fields of consciousness for everyone. It's just that you're consciously taking part in it. Like I did when I studied all this, you know, everyone else got that templates, but you're at the cutting edge of breaking it through for humanity. Yeah. Good job, everyone. It just gets a bit sticky at times.
So I just want to have a look at everyone's average frequency. 3 million. Oh, well done, 4 million. When you check in, do people have particular density to remove, or do you want me just to move into more heart space?
It's all gone now.
Yeah. What about 15? We should mention about the 15 strands of DNA, because that really makes a big pickup to you.
There were some distortions on you, but when we all moved up into that billionth dimension, it was like there was a big clearing effect. So you might feel that you felt a bit lighter afterwards, because you know, there were quite a few in you know, in your fields. And yeah, the 15 strands of DNA has been really important. I said to Anita earlier that I wasn't feeling as energetic as I normally do. And then it was like, oh, hang on a minute, why am I not feeling like my normal self? And it's like, I
had the same thing happen.
Yes, because I was only running on less than your normal 7 strands of DNA into a human doing, rather than a human being and fully illuminated human being. So it was like I was running on 10 less strands of DNA. It was like, oh, really.
So do you want to share what you did? Because I think everyone, and just
so
hold the intention while Robert's telling you this to do yours.
Because it's an important one. Oh, it's why I'm feeling like I am because of 5G. You know, yes or no, clear it up, or put your tin hat on, or call in Kevin, the Atlantean Keeper of Light Codes, to just protect your house and remove it. And then second one to ask is the strands of DNA, and what am I running on? Because it's very hard to try and clear things if we're not running on that Homo Luminous and fully illuminated. So all of our DNA has all of that beautiful cosmic power running through all of those. So I just put myself up into that billionth dimension. I'm in my sacred heart space. Yep. I am the billionth dimension. I am the creator in the billionth dimension. Really important to add that, because the I am the creator really opens up your field, like it's like, I'm here. And then I just asked for my 15 strands of DNA to be switched on in that billionth dimension. And it was like, gone. It was like switching on a light switch. So any distortions that were there just got sent out, and they instantly just went through that clearing portal. That was it.
So what were your words? I am switching on. Is that what you said?
I'm switching on my 15 strands of DNA.
Everyone got that?
Yeah. Instantly, I felt like hair standing on end. It was like, oh, wow. Now I feel like my whole energy's just come back again.
A big one too for me, I was going to say, is not forgetting to retrieve all aspects of your soul from past, present, future, any space-time dimension. And I do mention universe, multiverse, metaverse now. And and just collecting it up, sending it through the clearing portal. Yeah, I think.
So it's nice to remember, you know, and you'll have these in that little list on the check sheets of things to run through. But there seems to be a quickness, like that little spark here above my finger, that we can just, that's my intention and it happens, or you can go through the whole process to do it. So there's an aspect of being masterful to know then, like with me, I just asked, what is it? And I got DNA straight away. And it's like, oh, okay, DNA. Because remember, wherever the question's asked, the answer's given to you. So I asked, what is it? Hold this space. Wasn't then thinking about what are we doing for dinner? What are we presenting tonight? No, hang on. Why am I feeling like I am? Oh, DNA. Oh, right. Okay, thanks. DNA. Switch on. Is it all switched on? No. Right. Billionth dimension. Switch on all my 15 strands of DNA. Done. So, you know, if you're not getting it intuitively, but practice with that, because, you know, I think that was on level 1 or level 2, you know, where you ask a question from here, the answer is given to you where the question's asked. So you just have to hold that space and wait.
That's real mastery to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have to use a pendulum or work through it. I just asked the questions like, oh, DNA, thank you. Oh, it's distortion. Oh, it's 5G. And it will come. So play with it, because, you know, we've switched on those psychic channels. Yeah. And if you get stuck, then you can always use your pendulum and your bit of paper, but practice in asking the question and you get the answer. Because we're moving more into that field now of asking any question and then the answer will come to you. Yeah. Much like we spoke about with Matthias De Stefano, who remembers every aspect of all of his past lives that he's ever had. And what was that film where they were asking a question from the field of consciousness, from Infinite, the film, asking a question and, oh, hang on, here's the answer. Yeah, so we're breaking through into that aspect too.
Margaret just wanted to clarify.
Okay, let's...
Margaret's obviously got her pad and pen there. It's great.
Yeah, so you stated I switch on. Yeah, I'm switching on my 15 strands of DNA rather than asking, please, creator, switch it on. Yeah, great question, because I've already said I am the creator.
It's more omnipotence there.
There's more energy by I'm in my sacred heart space.
More
I'm the
masculine energy than please.
Billionth dimension. My energy is here. I am the creator in the billionth dimension, and my whole field, like I can feel it going out across the whole of Rangiora where we are. So you've got far more energy coming in when you're saying you're the creator there. So, and it's like, oh, what do I wish to create? I'm switching on my 15 strands of DNA. Thanks. There you go. And then it's like, because I said from here, because you are the creator, and we're playing in that billionth dimension, which is that picnic table, which is the 4th ray of creation. What do you want to create? I want my 15 strands of DNA. There you go. Yeah, so really powerful. Yeah, really powerful. Great question. Yeah, really, really good question. Yeah. So we can, you know me, I'm all about quickness, got to be highly effective, but if I can shortcut any of this here, then, you know, I'll do it. So let's just...
Well, thank goodness that you are, because you wouldn't get to see a client.
Me?
Well, that you've taught me what you've taught me, you know, because, okay, the other day was the exception to the rule, but on the whole, it's like the 2 rules that you say are so true. Do something when you detect it, don't wait, and quick and easy, get it done, and then you can always sit and do a deeper meditation later, like deal with it.
We can shortcut too, from what I was showing you with what Eva had on the board there with her question about how we're manifesting at that particle level through the universe. And I forgot what level it was probably 3 or 4 levels ago. We can do that and shortcut that when I just asked just then. Again, in that billionth dimension, I am the creator in the billionth dimension. What is it you wish to create? You know, as Eva was playing with what she wishes to manifest here in 2022 for herself, then we can use that as a shortcut to, because Eva was saying, oh, you know, it was an hour meditation, and it's quite a big full-on piece, isn't it? Creating that cube and going into particle level in your heart and going all the way back through the molecules and the atoms and all the way back. It's profoundly powerful. But when you know that, it's kind of like, well, my intention now is just to create. Billionth dimension creator takes you into that 4th ray of creation, that picnic table. What do I want to create? Oh, I want to manifest this, thank you, in my reality, and pull it forwards. There's aspects in there too, and I've not mastered it. My alchemy teacher said that he's not going to show us manifesting something from the invisible into the visible in his hand, like creating an apple out of the nothingness into the physical form, because he doesn't want us to feel bad about not being able to do it. Yeah, and I've not created that yet, but there's aspects here for me to be masterful this year in creating and pulling something from the non-physical into the physical form here. Yeah, we all sat around and went, I knew it, Jim would be able to do it. Right? You know, so we can play in that, where we manifest right into the present moment. We can do that by having a thought about things, and you can feel your energy. Oh God, I just thought about, you know, whatever you're thinking about, you pull it into your reality. So there's a real key with focusing on what you're focusing on too.
I've got a question for you. So Archangel Metatron, not so long ago, said to us we need to keep 2 points of reference. So what are your 2 points of reference now?
Billionth dimension in here.
The third or 100th? Like,
well, like I'm talking to everyone here, but I'm seeing myself on that cinema screen up here as I'm talking to you and being in that billionth dimension.
That's very masterful and
well,
very tricky to do when you're talking to people.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, holding those 2 points of reference. And we did do an anchoring on that on one of the psyche development, and I forgot what number it was, but we'll pull that forward again to do that early on in the next few weeks to re-anchor that.
Yeah,
so,
I think that would be very
you know, then I can just talk to you now and know that I'm already anchored up there. So any of this peripheral stuff,
I think that might be where I'm
there's no
down.
5G going to be affecting me. There's nothing, because your vibe and your frequency is far too high. But if I'm right now, I'm in the third dimension, still in my sacred heart space, but talking to you down here, I can feel the ickiness of the third dimension. It's making me feel sick. I'm going back up here.
So then can you help us to understand how to do that without being in your head about it?
Yeah, you can't be in your head. Zero. As soon as you get in your head, you're out of it. You must be in your sacred heart space.
So what do you say? I know I'm in the billionth dimension. What's your anchor?
I am.
So it's just the I am. But then how long after you've said that should you say it again? Like,
well, you shouldn't have to.
But then how do you do that?
Because it's like I'm talking to Anita now, but I'm seeing myself on that screen behind you, because I'm using my third dimensional eyes to see you, and then I'm using my psychic eye to keep an eye on what's going on.
So it's more that you're seeing yourself there than you're thinking yourself there.
Yeah, you're not thinking.
No, so I'm asking this because I'm sure everybody else would be thinking the same.
Thinking at all.
Because this is mastery right here. Being able to do
you're
this.
Engaging your psychic side, your third eye and your fourth eye up here. So I'm viewing myself up here, like having a conversation.
So would it help if, instead of just having like a stick man or something, would it help if you had a particular vision of yourself, like in a flowing robe or white sparkles, or, you know, crystalline, or, you know, rainbow colored? Like, I know myself to be visual, I need to be very visual. So that if I knew I had to keep a hologram up above the client's head all day of me wearing a rainbow,
no, you don't have to do that.
Sparkly coat.
You just see the image of what you're seeing here, but you're seeing it interdimensionally.
I think you need to break that down a bit more. I think.
I don't. No, it's great questions. I don't see you up here with a tin hat on. I'm seeing you now here, third dimension, using my third dimensional eyes. And then I'm in the billionth dimension here now, looking at you through my third eye and my fourth eye. So your image is exactly the same. I see the poster, I see Sharon, I see the door, I see the bit over here. But I'm watching 2 points of reference at once.
So when I just engaged my third eye then, and I could feel the energy transfer, and then if I run the energy up and do the fourth eye. Yeah. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So is it just a change of perspective where your eyes slightly cross and it gets a little bit more interdimensional? No,
because that's your physical eyes doing that. Another great question.
Don't worry, I'm going to hound him down on this.
Because we can see interdimensionally through our physical eyes, because we connected up your eye of Horus, your sixth chakra, pineal, pituitary, medulla. So we can see interdimensionally here. there's another little piece here too. That we can change. Remember I said to you when we were on the beach that I changed the perspective. So what am I seeing here through my eyes when I first see it? It's been third dimension since I was born, but we can change what I see first is actually the fifth or the sixth or the billionth dimension.
I like that.
It's kind of like we're getting in behind the eyes and it's like, oh, actually, no, I'm seeing the billionth dimension first. And we
wow, when I do that, there's so much pressure coming out of my face.
We anchor that behind here.
That's the higher mind, and I can feel mine is not operating right at the moment.
So that's the third point. So we will get to that in the psychic side of things. It's just I've been playing with that, but I've been holding normally now, right, I'm looking at Anita third dimension with these eyes, but then I'm looking through my third eye, fourth eye. You can just say third eye.
And how different do I look?
You look exactly the same. You're wearing the same clothes.
No, but like, am I looking all
no, you've got your stupid tin hat on
see
again.
My aura, like what do you see that's different when you flick into looking at me that way as opposed to
looking at you the same. If I then ask to see your aura, then I'll see your aura. But my point of reference is keeping in the billionth dimension. And remember, when you're in your sacred heart space, we then access that big cinema screen in front of us, you know, like we're seeing ourselves in the seats looking at it.
How did everybody go with that? I still feel like that's a bit elusive. Do you feel like that? Yeah.
Okay.
I think we need to get Robert to present that like as a module, because I think we need to master that. What do you reckon? Because let's face it, if being up there is going to protect us and those 2 points of references, it's like it's hard enough to stay present with one point of reference, let alone stay present with two and in your heart space.
No, it's not. It's easy.
Yeah, I know. You two say, I know, I love that.
No, but
the people that wake up, like Roger Federer.
It's your context. You're saying it's going to be difficult, so it will be difficult for you.
No. I want it. I don't mean it like that.
But that's how you're saying it. So that will be your experience.
But do you understand that 100%, Eva?
Monica says you're making it complex.
Yeah.
We'll practice it.
Yeah.
All right. We can do a whole level on practicing that. Yeah, I'm practicing that. That is the key of our self-mastery at the moment. Because every time we're being hammered, it's because we're in the third dimension. They can hammer us.
No, I hear you.
When we're in the billionth, you know, or higher, they can't touch us up there. So we're infallible.
So I found for me.
Well, come and explain, because it's
I found for me though it's that flicking out of your heart space into your head. That's what's really making it a lot harder for you to be in the billionth dimension. Because if you're flicking, I'm like in my heart space, and then it's easier to set the I am in the billionth dimension. I am in my heart space, but I found that was the big one for me when I really connected with my heart space and know that I'm in my heart space, and I set the intention first thing in the morning in the shower that I stay in my heart space. It just is.
So that's a great motivator to be in the heart space. When I'm in my heart space and I feel that glow, I am in the billionth dimension.
Yeah, I am in the billionth
dimension. Setting an intention, a feeling.
Yeah. And then you can see yourself, up in the billionth dimension, and it's you get that real good knowing in the visual.
Yeah. Well. So could you have the visual like that, or could you see yourself within your sacred heart because you're feeling yourself within your sacred heart?
My visual for me being in my sacred heart is just kind of a real illumination, and when I feel that go, then I know that it's starting to not be, I'm starting to okay, and then I've got to really bring that illumination back,
because it's a given that we're all in the third dimension. That's a given. So if we forget that point of reference and we just focus on the other, we could then just have one point of reference.
And I tend to
get confused with the two.
And the one point of reference, because when I was just writing it down, I just laughed at them because I heard in here, oh, he's working it out. because there's something here that's not been formed behind my eyes, that every time then I open my eyes. We covered this in psychic a couple sessions ago, that when we open our eyes, we're already programmed that when I open my eyes, I see Anita, I see the bedroom, I see the TV, third dimension. Or actually, when I open my eyes, do I see the 111 billionth dimension, or the 1 billionth dimension, or the 12th dimension, infinite pure love? There's a little piece here that just needs to be reconfigured, because I've got, oh God, it's working it out. Oh, I shall do my homework on that. So, you know, and with me, I will manifest that, you know, into creating that. So it's great what you were sharing about your intention and what you're doing, because you're putting yourself in that space, which is why it's the importance of in the mornings of doing your little daily rituals and protecting yourself. And then if you're cleaning out any space junk that might have come in overnight, and I'm in my sacred heart space. And every time you feel like you're not in your sacred heart space and you're busy in your head, or you've got it whirling around, ooh, I'm in my sacred heart space. You know, I'm the billionth dimension. I'm the creator.
And really, it's those three.
And then talk to people from within here.
They're really anchoring.
It is.
Setting the intention. Here's the feeling.
And not overthink it.
Yeah. And feel the difference, like I was sharing, when, you know, I'm talking to you in the third dimension, I can feel the ickiness around me. You'll feel it. It's like a compression, like someone's got their hands not touching your head, but you can feel the heat and feel something's there. And then if you're in the billionth dimension, and try it now, I'm in my sacred heart space and I'm the billionth dimension, then put your hands there. You don't feel it. It's different. So everyone on the call, try it. You know, I'm in my sacred heart space. I'm the third dimension, and feel it. I'm the creator in the third dimension, and feel the difference. You know, I can feel like a pressure all around me. And then I'm in my sacred heart space. I'm the billionth dimension. I'm the creator in the billionth dimension. Put your hands back up on here, and it's like I don't feel that pressure. It's like, oh, I'm just floating away. There's a calmness in the air around me. There's a remarkable difference that we feel. And it's either was just yawning, or you feel the lightness in the pit of your stomach. You know, there's a different weight around us.
And by setting the intention and doing that in the morning, you know, the I am in my sacred heart space, I am in the billionth dimension, and you set that for the day, you actually find that you can navigate a bit better being out there and amongst the 3D and anybody else that's in, you know, around you. And that's just something I've done because of where I work, and it actually really does help. Definitely.
The same thing can happen, like if you practice yoga in the morning and did a salute to the sun that will take you 5 minutes to do. It sets your day up because it puts you in a different space. And then your day just floats along. And then, oh, I've forgotten to do my yoga in the morning, and you can have a bit of a day like this because you're actually then in the third dimension rather than this, rather than, oh, actually, wow, I've just moved myself into my heart space, and then I'm moving on to the day. So there's multiple ways we can get there, but the difference is profound, eh?
Oh, it's really
profound.
Got that down into a nutshell.
Yeah, try it. You know, tomorrow, try. Right, I'm in my sacred heart space. I'm the billionth dimension. I'm the creator in the billionth dimension, starting your day. And then the next day afterwards, don't do it, and see how the kids are different, see how things work out at work and everyone else. You soon remember.
Yeah. I mean, do add it to your morning. Yeah, do add it to your morning, you know, your grounding and everything else, you know. But that really makes a big difference to your day. It really, really does.
And the more you do, it's like riding a bike. Because when Anita and I first met, you were very much in your head, you know, and I was training Anita. Are you in your head or your heart space? Where are you? And then over time, you've got, you're well into your heart space. So it's just every time you feel that busyness or thoughts coming in, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm in my sacred heart space. You know, it takes you 4 seconds probably. Every time it comes out, no, I'm in my sacred heart space. No.
Yeah.
Hang on. No.
No. And you soon know whether you're not, whether you're there or not. It's
Great presence practice.
you soon know if something.
Then you can live your day
Oh,
from it. And if people,
Absolutely.
someone's driving right up your diff lock in the car or something knocks you out.
Push it back.
Where am I? Sacred heart space.
Mhm.
I see myself why people say about that, but it's been kind of missed by being in your heart space different than being in your sacred heart space. Your sacred
make a
heart
difference.
space is that flame, infinite pure consciousness, 23rd dimension, infinite pure light, infinite pure love. So it allows us to play interdimensionally. If you're just in your heart space, you don't get that. You're just in the 3rd dimension, but you're in your heart space.
Everyone's gone up to 20 million.
Wow.
Understanding that.
Anita just said
Wow.
everyone's gone up to 20 million now. So
That was
a-
thank
it
you.
was,
I had
it was good, eh?
I had a very big penny dropping aha moment there, because I think I was not so much overthinking it, but confused. I thought I had to keep 2 points of references, but really what
Well-
you've said is actually just keep one, because it's a given that you're in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't
So
have
I
to.
love that. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good clarity.
So then you'll just see that image of you,
Mm.
same image. You haven't got to see yourself in robes or anything else.
No. So I think, to me, that's been the gold of coming on tonight. Just, I've written here how to stay in the billionth dimension. It's a practice.
Not
Yeah.
overthink it either. Too.
Yeah, no.
And
It's
the-
a
then that'll put you straight back
feeling
on
or
Yeah.
a vision.
The key is for it, the more that you practice when you don't need to be in there, it's anchored all the time. That's the key. So then if something happens in the peripheral with work or kids or stuff going on, it doesn't sway you from being in here. And it's like people might be shouting in your head and you just look at them and it doesn't affect you, don't react, you don't drop out. So that's the key. Practice it when it's not required. Driving in your car, wherever you're driving. I'm in sacred heart space, I'm in the billionth dimension, creator in the billionth dimension.
I actually do this with you sometimes, whatever, and I'll say, yeah, I'm at work, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's
I might be
Yeah.
in it, but I'm not of it.
I'm not, yeah.
Mm,
Then
I'm physically here, but I'm not here.
then you can start playing with putting your workplace in the billionth dimension and everyone else, your kids, your husband, your wife, the shopping mall. Yeah, you put everyone there. And there will be aspects for what we're doing when you might have just heard the TV crack behind us, for the work that we'll be doing around mid-year when we're closing that 3rd dimension for humanity, and then it will be far easier to hold that higher interdimensional aspect of who we are. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. So Linda set an alarm every 2 hours today because she was so munted and clear and so worth it. That's great to hear. Yeah, and it's intense, the amount of times that you have to clear yourself. Oh, how do we get out of that?
That's right. And the key is, like when we get munted, if you're feeling it to that level, then if I ask a question, were you really masterful back here a day or 2 days before you felt really munted? Because we wouldn't be presenting tonight if we weren't clearing our energy 5, 6, 20 times a day.
And even while we're talking to you, we're still clearing ourselves in the background.
There's that aspect.
Oh, someone's still unmuted. Could you remute?
Because we can pick up all of that energy and we can pick it up subtly. Sorry, what was that?
Someone's not muted. There's sound coming through.
Oh. Yeah, so it can come back then, Linda, to just keeping an eye on keeping your energy clear. Yeah, multiple times during the day. And that was something that the Martians taught me when they nearly killed me, that I was only clearing my energy once a day and thought it was enough. And it wasn't. I needed to be doing at least 4 times a day. And then I've been fine.
Yeah, so poor Linda had a galactic virus and Robert cleared that. And yeah, it was. And you see, this is what people will be mistaking for the C word.
Well, they are.
Mm.
People are getting something, but it's not the C word. They're not getting the C word. You know, my tutor's been doing this for 53 years and she's not had one person with the C word as a virus, and neither have I. But there's stuff people are getting, yeah, for sure, because people are, you know, getting sick and they're not hypochondriacs. So that's part of what we've been doing, and I do every day, is clearing this out to try and keep on top of all of this. You know, there's people's adjustments to the energies that's going on, a bit like if you have a detox, you know, because we are going through these big shifts and the photon belt and everything else. So, you know, if we're not treating our body like a temple and eating well and drinking well,
with us sleeping well, enough
getting
rest
rid of,
at the
you
moment.
know, all of those rocks in your
You
backpack
too.
and keeping your chakras open, you know, that then you'll feel it. And being masterful on, you know, clearing the energy in the morning, because they can zap us overnight, even if we protect our house. It's you know, and the energy protection, we'll be talking about that some more, because we've changed our energy protection again, haven't we? And it seems a lot better, because before sometimes it's like, oh yeah, we're fine in the morning, no problems at all. Other days, got to clear everything.
Oh, like crawling out of bed, crawling to the spa.
Yeah,
Sitting there for an hour, clearing yourself.
The energy protection, yeah, we must do that level
Yeah,
3, because
yeah.
it's really shifted.
Don't worry,
And
I've got the
changed.
calendar on the floor.
It's really shifted and changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do that meditation, and we go.
Yeah, we'll just do a bit of a heart. Well,
closing meditation.
yeah. What time is it?
I think we're about up to 2 hours.
9:30. Not
Yeah,
quite. So let's do a little heart space.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Meditation, just because you can't do enough of it, really. And it's such a practice and a feeling state. And I do believe that Homo luminous, you will anchor it for a while, but you'll also unanchor it. And it is all about how much you're in your heart space. So you'll only embody and upgrade as much as what you're in your heart space. That would probably be the short way of putting it.
That was going out.
Just share what you're doing, because it's all learning.
I just cleared something in the background, and we heard a tap. I don't know if it picked it up on the microphone, tap in the background. And I said to Sharon, it's all right, that energy was going out, because I asked, is that energy coming in? No. Oh, is it going out? Yes.
Something's beaming there.
So that was me.
Try to clear it now.
And that was me clearing it. So pay attention for those little clicks and clacks on your house and the roof and windows and walls and things like that.
Been a lot of that lately. Well, I've noticed a lot of it.
So I've got a good question for you.
So you'll be feeling that, because where was your point of attention? Talking to everyone here in the 3rd dimension, or the billionth?
Oh, I can tell. I haven't mastered that.
No,
it's good. It's
I wasn't
great.
picking holes on you,
No, I don't mind at all, because I'm here to
the,
learn as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. What was I going to ask you then?
and I'm not there 100% of the time, believe you me.
So
99.9.
people are yawning. That's good. You're clearing things. So I'm just going to be honest with how I'm feeling right now, because I have to do a meditation and I'm not right. So why don't you share with what I've got, so people can understand what's going on with me? Because I feel like my head's back in a vice. I can't remember anything I'm thinking or saying, and I'm normally not like that. It's coming in and going out. I'm really focusing on, I am in the billionth dimension and I am in my heart, but yeah, I'm starting to get to that point now where I don't feel like I can breathe. I think it's 5G. Even though I'm saying I'm in the billionth dimension, it's you're not obviously going to be protected from 5G because your physical body's here.
You've got to be in here. It's then, okay, is it 5G? Yes. So we call in Kevin. So we can call in Kevin to knock that out. I ask, because it lands sea or air, so it's coming from the air.
So I'm being beamed at.
Yeah. You know you're being beamed at.
So
it's like we have to chop that
That
cord.
feels better already.
We have to chop the cord of that beaming of energy that's coming in.
All right, so I've just learnt something else. I'm not chopping the cord.
Yeah, you need to chop the cord.
I'm just imagining
like
Sharon
beam.
putting a stellar gateway around it. I'm just imagining Kevin exploding it, and then I'm imagining it going, but actually the beam has to be cut.
Snip the beam.
Right.
And I'll get Kevin to snip that beam, and then we take care of where it's coming from.
Right. So you're getting rid of it off you as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling a bit better now.
What a great night for learning, everyone.
Well, because we know
Yeah.
with 5G, they can beam in any frequency into you, you know, any virus or bacteria or parasite or any of this crap or any thoughts and emotions like they've used in, you know, the wars
Holographic
and things like
distortions.
this. Yeah. They used it in, I think it was in Iran, where they beamed in, where they were then hearing the voice of God. They thought it was God talking to them. No, it was the Americans had beamed in using 5G, so they thought that's what they were picking up, but they weren't. And then they laid down all of their arms and weapons.
Wow.
So, you know, that when you're in here, it doesn't affect you, but if you're up here, it's like, you might be thinking you're having these thoughts, but are they your thoughts? You know, what if half the thoughts you have during the day are not your thoughts? It's what's being beamed into you holographically, you know? Think about that.
I've got another
It's big.
30.
And that's why we
Yes, Margaret.
it's why we must be in our sacred heart space.
And you can just kind of in your mind think it's Kevin through Rob, or you could you call him Kevin, the keeper of Atlantean light codes?
Yeah, the Atlantean keeper of light codes, yeah.
Keeper of light codes.
Yeah, so Kevin does it as part of his role as Atlantean keeper of light codes. Yeah.
Can I just bring up one more 30?
Snip
Because
the cords and send in meteor strikes to get rid of it.
Mm.
He got told off for doing that when he didn't have permission. He was sharing that story.
Mm.
So we typically have to ask 3 times. You know, are you going to stop beaming me? And you might get a no. Are you going to stop beaming me? No. You stop beaming me? Yes. You know, and I get that very often. And then I tell them, you keep doing it 3 times, then I'm not going to ask anymore. And then we're going to send in the guns, and because that's part of universal law too. You know, we can only do what we're asked to do. With yours, I asked, do we have permission just to send in a meteor strike straight away? And I got a yes. So it's like we do that. So where it's coming from, it just like instantly stops it. Yeah. That's the free way of protecting yourself from 5G radiation.
How many people on the call have a heart space that's clear of distortions? Sacred heart space.
Including us.
They don't.
No.
So then, you know, you got to realize this too, because it's counterproductive if you spend all day and set alarms and you've said all those mantras and your heart space is distorted.
That's a very good point.
I looked at mine. That's what was wrong with mine. I'm a good show and tell tonight, aren't I?
Yeah. It's a key, actually, because if you're finding it very hard to clear yourself or get your vibration up, it's another check, like on the energy protection. Is my sacred heart space clear? Yes or no? You need to ask that yes or no, and then have I missed something too? Yeah.
Because I actually feel a lot better, because I was sitting here doing all the things you were both saying, and I thought, I'm still copying it. And then,
yeah, and it can be because you've got a distortion or a wormhole or something they've opened up in your sacred heart space. Yeah.
Mm. So it's interesting when we started tonight.
So that can be, though, because if we'd caught that beam early enough, you would have cut the beam, got rid of it without it coming into your sacred heart space.
Mm.
If you leave it a bit of time, then it's like they beam in that distortion in here. And then it's like, oh, is my sacred heart space clear, yes or no?
Am I being beamed again?
Yeah. You've got a distortion in there again now.
Yeah. Now I feel like it's hard to breathe.
So if I have something in my sacred heart space, then my intention is that I open up my sacred heart space, and I say I'm opening up my sacred heart space in that billionth dimension. And it's like it gets sucked out. It's like it don't even have to really ask for it to come out. It just removes itself because it can't handle the light of that billionth dimension. So you just open your sacred heart space and it comes out. Well, it's been an interesting one, isn't it, on this learning?
I think we could sell tonight as actually energy protection level 3 straight away.
With a bit of psychic and holding 2 points of reference.
No, it's great.
Yeah, it's important because that's where it's coming
It
in.
might be energy protection level 2.5.
Sacred heart space. Feeling all right now?
Yes, yeah, I'm getting, still my head's not right. I think I've got negative frequencies in there. But it was interesting when Sharon and I spoke when we first got here about, just mastery or something like that. We just both looked at each other and went grounding and clearing, grounding and clearing. And 3, really, sacred heart space. 4, really, holding that one intention to be in the billionth dimension. So I think that would summarize tonight.
With those negative frequencies, you can say I'm in my sacred heart space, I'm the billionth dimension, creator in the billionth dimension, I'm removing any negative frequencies that aren't mine. It comes out. I am removing anything and everything that I've not consciously asked for or accepted. Vocalized third dimensional voice. Or you could run through each and every one of your chakras and see where the distortions are too, and remove them that way. But yeah.
It's gone down
Good
again.
enough.
It's really
Snip,
hard
snip, snip.
to give a workshop and keep that maybe.
That's why it's practice for you now.
That's why it's not holding.
Thank you. I think we need to do this meditation so that we have one point of focus.
We keep you up there too.
Yeah. It's been an interesting night. It's been like learning on the job out in the mucky, muddy field.
But it's the way that we learn. You know, my biggest teachers are them on the other side of the fence. They are, because they bring new perspectives for me to go and master. Oh no, he's worked it out. All right, so I'm going to find out what we need to do to teach it, to put that different dimensions. It's the first thing we see. There'll be an aspect for us for 8th of the 8th. That'll be part of shutting that door on going all goosebumpy on the third dimension. A bit like we did with the kids in 2012. Yeah. Here though, you should know that it's always there. It's just my mastery.
Yeah. And look, it's good for you guys to see this.
The good thing is, this is how we learn.
Yeah, I don't get upset about it. I'm open to learning.
It's not a bad thing.
It's about,
we're humans and we have to learn by experiences. And it's like,
I'm rapt about that. I don't sit here going,
that
no,
feels like crap.
Wow.
Hang on, I need to now be more masterful. Because I just dropped out of it then, and now I can feel that I'm being beamed. So while you're doing that, I'll take care of these. Because I wasn't masterful in holding that dimension either. Now I'm back now, and then it's all gone.
Great workshop tonight. Great workshop. I should have meditated with clients all day. Let's have a little fun. Let's lighten it up. Okie dokie. Oh, where's the recording thingy? Let's have a drink. Oh, what's happening here? It's not me.
Oh, sorry.
The thing's moving.
I was leaning on it.
That was Robert. All right. Yeah, I can touch it. Don't touch it. Yeah, so I've decided this probably is strong enough. It's probably that I'm not holding holding my intention consistently enough. Okay, we all stopped rustling. I'll just Okay, well, let's just get into the space. Just have a little stretch of your body. Oh, open up your heart space. Little spinal twist. Oh, just being more aware of our body vessel. And Margaret and I had a wonderful session the other day, and much of this came up, didn't it, Margaret? Yeah. And she had a big shift when we did my little heart glow meditation. And I have found this to be so profoundly simple and so profoundly effective. Let's go into our meditation this way, because there's levels to which we're in our sacred heart, and there's levels to which we're still in our head. And there's a few little ways that we can just help make that shift and feel that shift. And I love the heart glow meditation, says Linda. Yeah, and like you girls could do it. It's just one of the most simplest, most effective meditations I've ever come up with. And it's quick too, 4 minutes. But this one will go a little further than the 4 minutes, because I think we need a little bit more of a journey in our imagination tonight to engage our third eye. So just closing down, just closing your eyes, and just feeling your breath as you feel your body vessel relaxing the out breath. And just begin by placing your right hand on your sacred heart. And put a smile on your face and a smile in your heart. And sometimes you do have to turn the frown upside down. And as you do that, you'll feel that glow within your heart. That little pilot light. I want you to visualize that glow, that power of the eternal flame within you. And just imagine there's a dial. You're dialing up from, just start and see, what number am I at? Am I at a 3? Actually, I'm going to dial it up to 10. And keep that smile on your dial. That got a smile. And visualize your eternal flame growing, and your glow will grow. Feel it. Now time to bring in more power. I am in my sacred heart. Say it out loud. Listen to the tone of your voice. If it sounds gravelly, flat, fast, matter of fact, you just said it from your mind, and your words didn't hit the mark. So now say it out loud, but say it like a loving, angelic angel would say to a little 3-year-old girl. I am in my sacred heart. And you're changing the octave, the frequency. Your heart understands the shift when you choose a different musical note, one that resonates with the heart. So practice daily, choosing the note and the octave, speaking more sing-songy. And now let's hold that intention that I'm sure you're already holding. I am in my sacred heart. I am in the billionth dimension. I am the creator in the billionth dimension. See that. How does it feel? Have you increased the glow within your heart? So that you can anchor those words, the tone, and now the feeling of the glow. Where are you on your dial? And some days are very busy. Some days can be sad. Some days can be stressed. So add this in. I want you to say, I love, and say 6 things that you love, and use the word I love. Make sure your tone is angelic, and always add in me. In a practice, you could say, I love me as the first thing you say. And I'll just be quiet now and I'll do it too. And just say 6 things that you love. And now say, I am grateful for. And again, repeat that phrase and come up with 6 things I am grateful for. Beautiful. And just allowing your hand to relax. Imagine now that you're within your eternal flame. Whether you're seeing yourself within your heart and feeling yourself within your heart as a mini me, or whether you're projecting that image from your third eye. Just remember what your eternal flame is made of. And as you're in there, connect to the lower part in the beautiful orange. I am infinite pure love. And around the middle of you is that brilliant white. I am infinite pure light. You might even add in the billionth dimension as the creator. And that beautiful blue point to the top of the flame. I am infinite pure consciousness in the billionth dimension. I am the creator. And you feel yourself spinning clockwise. And you feel yourself shrinking. You feel yourself becoming just light, weightless. And you feel yourself falling. But you feel like you're falling on feathers. You feel held. You feel yourself going deeper and deeper into the eternal flame. You feel yourself spiraling into the center like a koru. You feel yourself like you're on a slide, moving in that vortex, going in further and deeper. And all of a sudden, you feel yourself dropping. You think it's an abyss. And rising up to meet you is a river, a vertical river, a rainbow vertical river. And you feel yourself caught by the river, enveloped, held. And you feel the river rising. You feel it rising and rising back up to where you've come from. And you feel it spinning like a corkscrew with you immersed in the head of the river as it makes its way upwards towards that tiny, tiny little particle you fell through. And you know that you're flowing on the universal life force currents within the portal of your sacred heart in the billionth dimension, giving yourself access to this 0 point. And you feel it finding its way, spinning in a clockwise direction into the center of your flame. You feel this river, this force finding its way into your sacred heart, filling your sacred heart with all these beautiful spectrums of light, rays of creation. And as that beautiful rainbow river finds its way into your sacred heart, just allow it to move in a clockwise direction. Fill up the space. Fill up the space around your sacred heart. Now I want you to tune into your heartbeat. And feel the beat of your heart is a sound frequency, a pump. The ninth ray of creation, sound. So your heart, sacred heart space brings you the ninth ray. And the universal life force current that flows within you infinitely brings you colour. What do you do with this colour? What magic can you make? Just imagine every time your heart beats, you can choose a colour. Let's choose red. And imagine as your heart beats that you're sending those red spectrums of light right through you and around you. Keeping your attention, I am in the billionth dimension. I am the creator in the billionth dimension. And that red is now filling you from the beat of your heart, an infinite flow pushing in through you from your sacred heart in the billionth dimension. I am the creator. I can have as much red spectrum of light, universal light, ray of creation as I wish. And just feel it, just filling your auric bodies as if you filled an egg in 360 degrees around you, all permeating and penetrating. Now you want to pick orange. You feel like that was for the base chakra. And allow your heart to beat and send out that beautiful spectrum of orange light. That orange, that's the pure, infinite love that I am. I'm just merging with more of it. I'm allowing my heart to share more. My body, my chakras. Just allow that to fill you like a beautiful balloon. And each layer moves out further than the last. So the red ring now has an orange ring. And of course, your sacral chakra understands this color spectrum. It is drawing it in, it is growing stronger. And the heart chakra resonates with the orange, and it's a pump. It's very excited to be provided with the right spectrum of light. And it's immediately now adding a pump, just like your base chakra is pumping that red spectrum. Your sacral chakra is pumping the orange. And your heart keeps pumping in infinite flow. You know the yellow is next. It's already there. You knew it. So did your solar plexus. It's already pumping it front and back, pushing it out into your auric body, filling it up, permeating and penetrating through the other colors, the other layers, through you and around you. And this yellow flows through and is further out than the orange. And now in comes the green, the heart is pumping in. And see if you can feel as that green spectrum of light is pumped from your heart beating, that you can feel it in your sacred heart space, because it's a match. It's a match. I can feel it. It's magnetically drawn into the heart chakra, and that pump knows what to do. It's sending it out front and back. These pumping stations are horizontal sprinklers. Your heart's bringing it through, And it's spreading around you and through you faster than you can believe. Now you know the next colour. Can you feel the intention of the next colour connecting to your throat chakra as the blue was already flowing? You knew it intuitively. So did your body. And now that beautiful blue ray. I'm the creator. I'm in the billionth dimension. I love playing with these colour spectrums. My chakras just know what to do because I have divine intelligence. I have divine transformation at my fingertips. And just feel that beautiful blue being pumped by your heart, flowed through your throat chakra, dispersed in through you and around you. These chakras are spinning very fast. They know what to do. And they're even drawing the current through. So don't feel that the red is stopped just because your attention is on the blue. No. The red is still being drawn in by the base chakra, by the sacral chakra drawing in the orange. It continues to draw it in. And now as you're ready to move up even further, connect to the beautiful indigo colour for your third eye. And as you feel your heart pumping, feel it being drawn up there to its correct chakra. And then feel it moving up through your spinal cord like an auger, mining its way into that point between the two chakras on the spine, all those ganglia of nerves. And feel it spreading equally to the front and the back, the indigo colour spectrum, ray of creation. And then feel the chakra spinning and pumping. It knows what to do. And allow that colour to invigorate the third eye chakra front and back. And feel it moving evenly through both, perhaps straightening and correcting anything that feels slightly off, slightly tight. And if the front's feeling tight, put your attention on sending more and keep feeling it coming through your sacred heart. See it. And imagine it's like a purple indigo serpent, and that it's twirling in a clockwise direction, finding its way through the front. And imagine there's two of them splitting, one going through the front, one going through the back. And all the while, that beautiful indigo spectrum of light keeps coming in. Well done. And now that beautiful indigo fills up all your body, goes through all the other layers and makes its way further out from the throat chakra, the archetype body. And finally, the colours coming in violet for your crown. You're getting the swing of it now. Just allow it to find its way up through your spinal cord. Feel it being drawn to your pineal gland, your master crystal cell. Feel it finding that vertical current to the crown. Can you notice how different it feels? This beautiful violet colour wants to go vertical. I don't feel it drawn down to my base. It's definitely vertical. And if it feels like you need more expansion, just allow that violet colour to come through in a serpent so that you get a more visual picture of allowing something to clean and clear and unblock and clean and clear your pineal gland and your crown chakra as that beautiful serpent climbs to your 8th celestial chakra. But it won't go through because it's not the right colour spectrum. So come back to your sacred heart and see if you can guess the colour intuitively. You might know. The monad is a beautiful champagne gold. And just feel it finding its way with the heartbeat. Feel it finding its way vertical. Feel it going up through that beautiful auger that you've already created, sliding through the pineal gland and crown, And now see if you can really feel where it's magnetically drawn to your soul star. Keep that connection to your sacred heart. Feel your heart beating. See that champagne gold sparkling light. Feel it being drawn into your 8th celestial chakra, creating this beautiful champagne gold ball of light. And feel what it wants to do. Does it feel like it wants to create a seal around all the other bodies? Do you feel it making that outer shell like an egg? Do you feel it running down under your earth star? Do you feel it going around your body from the front to the back? Do you feel the quarters sealing up? And now do you feel your soul star turning into a shower head instead of a fountain like your crown chakra? This is like a beautiful shower head. And so the beautiful golden light is now making its way back down through you, sprinkling you, filling up that beautiful ball of light, sharing this golden shimmering ray of creation, the monadic body. And just feel that golden layer moving through and around you, through all the other auric bodies. Feel it filling into its shell. And see this as your protection, as no doubt it is for the other auric bodies. Just connect to your beating heart. Connect to that universal life force current, that flow. And feel that you're like the center of the universe. My heart is the center of the universe. There is a never-ending pulse, a never-ending flow. And I am connected to this river. I am this river. And my heart reminds me with that beat, that connection to that river. Do you ever stop to think, how does my heart know how to beat? What tells it to do that? So you may now see this golden outer ring as protection. What is your intention? I am the creator. I am in the billionth dimension. And taking a breath within your heart, just imagine you ask the creator to release the rays of creation. And with the 6th ray of creation, what do you wish the creator to bring true? To protect me, creator. To give me a shield from radiation, a shield from negative frequencies, an infinite shield. I am always divinely protected. That is my intention. And my rainbow sparkling colours, my never-ending flow. It fills me up. It pushes my field out. It shields me. I am divinely protected. I am in the billionth dimension. I am the creator in the billionth dimension. Have that image, have that feeling, have that intention. And as you prepare this evening for your sleep space, if you feel you've expanded and you're in the billionth dimension and you're expanded, you might wish to feel more contained for your sleep space. So return your intention back to that little mini me within your eternal flame, within your sacred heart, but hold that vision. Still see yourself in the rainbow, see yourself connected to that universal life force flowing current. See that beautiful golden monadic body around you, the intention that you held. And contain yourself within your sacred heart with that intention. And those two perspectives, you may wish to cut your cords of attachment to your third dimensional physical body. Slough it off, clear it through, and maintain that protection and that intention from within your sacred heart space. And you can always send that golden glow out around you and that flame around you, but not necessarily your chakras or your auric field. Contain that within your sacred heart. I am in the billionth dimension. And my physical body is protected by my intention of staying in the billionth, by being the creator, by holding that vision within my heart space. And I protect myself, my body in the third, with my eternal flame and that golden seal or sea white light, the diamond light around you, because a diamond is the hardest substance. And then perhaps the golden layer, you might create a copper layer for more radiation protection, a Faraday cage for your third dimensional body. Just do what feels right for you. Well done, and you've prepared yourself to come back to the room with those 2 points of focus, 2 different ways of being for protection. And in your own time, just breathe gently into your body vessel. And more importantly, keep the feeling of what you've created. Stay in this bliss state. How long can you maintain it? Can you maintain it in bed? Can you contain it before you go to bed? And just take your time to come back into the room, but keep your point of focus. I am in the billionth dimension. I am in my sacred heart space. I am the creator in the billionth dimension. Well done. So now while you're in that space, I'm just going to stop the recording and let you go. We won't start bantering or chatting. I really want you to stay in your sacred heart. Well done tonight. Fabulous to connect again. And we'll see you next Tuesday night. Blessings, everybody. Sending love from our heart to yours. Family of light.
Working as one.
Working as one.